The next speaker I want to introduce is Valerijus Šerelis, who will tell you about how to make impossible things happen for the first time ever. Conquer the world with your brain and ideas. Valerijus is a lieutenant colonel, has served in the Lithuanian Armed Forces for more than 30 years. In January 1991, joined the National Defense Volunteer Service while still studying in University of Agriculture. In March, he became student's platoon leader. 1992, graduated with a master's degree in forestry and joined regular forces. He is the former commander of the first ever Lithuanian Special Operations Forces Squadron, CSOF Eagle, and Lithuanian Senior National Representative in Operation Enduring Freedom. He's a lecturer, poet, and a writer, already published 3 books. Also, he's the founder and leader of post-punk band LTC with 3 CDs already released. He is also a singer and songwriter as himself. Please welcome with a round of applause Valerijus Šerelis.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Loud and clear? Nice. So basically I can do it without microphone. Okay, I am not shouting anymore. So I mentioned the word vision. Basically, I can stop with this slide because basically most of these things already said. When we're talking about vision, vision is the art of visualization. When the commander is drawing a picture of the end state in the inner screen of his brain. Sometimes it's 3-dimensional movie. So basically, I want this to be ended like this. And then you are backwards putting events on a timeline. We are always short of facts. What we are doing when we are short of facts? Yeah, filling the gaps with assumptions. A, C, D, F, U. I know already what I will put there next. And what are we going to choose? Victory or a defeat? We always would like to choose a victory. But victory can be big and a failure can be small. Now we're talking about strategy and tactics. Okay, 2 minutes. Nice. Art of war. A lot of people saying that there is arts, Thomas mentioned it, and there are sciences. But sometimes we just don't understand that in every art there is a piece of science. And if you are talking about painting the picture, so yes, it is art, but the knowledge of the optics is a science. Okay, you can talk about the music. Music is art, but the harmony is science. You can talk about poetry. Yes, poetry is art, but linguistics is science. So basically, in every art, there is some specific pieces of science. Regarding decisions, you can always change the decisions. You cannot change undecisiveness. You fail all the time when you're postponing decision. Because basically, in a 20% of time, you have got 80% of the quality of your decision. And then, people like me, with a tendency to perfectionism, you are using the rest 80% of time trying to achieve 100% of quality. No chance. No chance. Perfectionism is disease. Because good enough now is much better than perfect too late. So, failure. Nick. Failure is a lesson. And when we're talking lessons learned, so failures clever people learning from their own failures. Very clever people. Very, very, very clever people. Learning from other people's failures. I have made mistakes. I learned from it. But there is one more thing. The biggest my mistakes, I knew what I am doing. I knew that I will fail. But the values and a team was more important than my personal success. And those people actually meeting and hanging me in the middle of the street. Despite the fact, yes, I failed. Who cares? You have chosen the side. So choosing the side is important. So, Thomas, Nick, reflections towards you is over. Do you have any questions? So the scheme. Oop. Do you have a laser here? No. So EWM. We in the army, I spent there more than 30 years. We're really keen on acronyms and abbreviations. Ends, ways, means. So when we're talking about strategy, we're talking about ends, ways, means. And strategic end is condition. Condition which is supposed to be sustained. I will be there, I will be able to, nobody will interfere. Ends, ways, means for the tactical level actually is action, purpose, time, place, actor. I will talk about this later. WUC, it's a will, understanding, capability. And when you are talking about those two things, so this is triangle of the victory. Will, understanding, capability. So you want it, you understand it, and the capability is present. Three bubbles here is spheres of war: mental, moral, and physical. So the fight is happening simultaneously in all those three spheres, in the mental, moral, and the physical. What is happening if our understanding is wrong or limited? We are starting to want what we understand but may not really need. If we are talking about capabilities, I can do it. So we're starting to want what we can. And then, if you have only hammer, then all your problems are just nails. Not screws, but nails. And when you are kind of sitting in the area and understanding the environment, I have learned a new word for me today. Circumvention. Basically, it's the perimeter of the circle. I haven't learned it. So the perimeter of the circle is 2 PRs. And the radius is a distance from the middle of the circle till the end. And you know, when we are short of information or knowledge or data, basically we have to feel a difference. Knowledge, understanding, and data. And information. Because when I'm putting my own analysis, from data I'm getting information. And then knowledge can be implied or applied in the situation when I did. So the circle, the perimeter of the circle is our contact with the unknown. And it is limited by the length of the radius. When I'm getting more information, more knowledge, more data, more experience, the radius becoming longer, you know what? My contact with the unknown becoming longer. It means I need more facts and more assumptions. And I put a couple of words here. Skull and a backbone. There are two different types of brain in a human being. And when I'm saying he is brainless, like a besmeganis, you know, there is specific term Lithuanian for the snowman. So if the brain is absent in the skull, but it's present in the backbone, you are tough, you are good, you are decisive, and doing nonsense. When you have got brain in the skull, but not in the backbone. You are fantastic. You are not spitting word out. You are not defending your opinion. So my proposal, a wish would be both. Skull brain boners. Galvastuburiai. Anyway. So, and when I'm talking about those things, because we're talking about innovations, what is actually innovation? Something new. So without creativity, without vision, without team, you cannot achieve it. And the failures actually must happen, because this is the best lesson. And those mental, moral, physical spheres of war, there are, you probably know the guy, GFC Fuller. He wrote a book, Foundation of Science of War. His friend was Little Hart, so he became a sir in 1965, something like this. So I like those guys. So, sorry, they're not Lithuanians, but still clever, you know, really sharp. And when I was talking about the time, the situation actually dictates circumstances in which the one who is faster with decision, whose decision is more creative, he is winning. So in 1991, I became a volunteer, and we collected all the guys with the rifles and other weapons, 28 in total, because we didn't have more, so no guns anymore. And the guy is explaining, so we will put, you know, one machine gun here, another machine gun here, and we will kill the Bolsheviks with a crossfire. And I'm looking at this scheme, and I'm saying, it's not a crossfire. It's not even, you know, interlocking or overlapping sectors of fire. It's blue and blue, because when you're putting one machine gun in another machine gun sector of fire, so basically you are lucky if you lost 50% of all your machine guns. And the people saying, okay, what should we do then? I said, change the sectors. This is overlocking fire. This is cross. And the people say, cool, you're good in tactics. I said, no, it's geometry. Because sometimes we very often underestimate ourselves, because in the geometry, we actually learned tactics already. We just didn't know it. And then, later on, we're sitting ambush near the Noreikiškės, and we're sitting ambush against battalion, and because it's putsch, end of August, 8 people only. 2 rifles, 1 pistol, 8 people against battalion. Just to explain, battalion is basically 3 maneuver companies. Each maneuver company, at least 3 maneuver platoons. Each maneuver platoon is 3 sections. So we actually a section which sets an ambush on a battalion. But we did it. We were well prepared, and you know what? They didn't come. Just because we were prepared. Another nice story, Afghanistan, Cross of Vitis. I put the name of the squadron, and I put my family name, because we were classified. And then one general says, tomorrow we are going to the Parliament of Lithuania, to the Seimas. How we are going to call it? And we are wearing name tags. And I'm saying, if letter Sh would cover, yes! Šerelis, in English it's eagle. So, and this general is like, I still amazed. He said, the question was put on the table, and the answer came back in 2 seconds. That's why I was commander of the first squadron, because creativity, at the end of the day, is something what the people doing, which was never done before, or possibly it was, but you don't know it. So you have to create something. So, and this white jeep over the mountains, minus 29. I'm car commander. Freaking cold. Freaking cold. But it's not important. you stop thinking how you feel. You are stopping thinking what may happen to you. You're concentrating all the time what you have to accomplish and achieve. And then, fear is gone, cold is gone, tiredness is gone, because you are in charge. And people are actually watching you. And if you will start to cry, everybody will. But you don't. And they don't. And next picture, we were the first squadron and we were discussing how we're supposed to look like. And because Jaeger battalion, we usually dismounted, and usually it's a 6-man patrol. And I was thinking, I have to create something, but which not be really strange. So 6 cars. And because the terrain is bad, movement is restricted, we're in open jeeps. So there are 3 criteria: firepower, movement, protection. So I have invested in the firepower. 3 grenade launchers in every jeep. MG3 machine gun in every jeep. 4 shooters in every jeep, because if I'm losing at least 1 man, we still can run the full operation. How many ambushes I received when I was on a patrol? 1, but they missed. Most of the time, they were shooting at us when we were on the base. Because when they observe it, they're thinking, nice guys. Should we start when you're getting back in 4 seconds 18 missiles? Possibly not. Let's call it tactical deterrence. And there are few stories what I would like to share with you. I do have another 5 minutes, I guess. Sixth sense. Sometimes we're saying that it's wild guess. There is another term for that called expert intuition. You're actually thinking that you are deciding subconsciously. No, subconscious advise you your decision. COPDL, it's like a sixth sense, but it's more like at a glimpse, at a microsecond, when the commander is making decision from incomplete data. Actually, I was talking to you. So there are 2 types of people. One type, who can extrapolate from incomplete data. Can you finish? Yes, because you can, everybody can. And this is creativity which is killed at 5 years old. No, it's not really, it's sleeping. So when you are making decision, there is needed one more thing, determination and courage, to make it sound and to make it happen. In the only beginning, I said decision and action. Because if it is decision, but there is no action, come on, nothing. Whatever you decide. If you wanted to present your whatever girlfriend flowers, now, not next year. To help an elderly lady to cross the street, not the next time, now. And if somebody is trying to bite your hand, knock his teeth now, not later, because he will not get the point. So, courage, audacity, boldness, bravery. There is a lot of synonyms for the word courage, but actually, but the courage actually including other things inside. And we are kind of joking that infantry is a brave. Now, infantry is a bold. Understand that you will die and keeping movement. And the cavalry is courageous, like an anti-gage in puis in war. We will start the fight and then find out later. Sometimes you have to start before find out. Because when somebody else will find out earlier than you, this somebody else will get an advantage in the situation. And Sixth Sense, the book by Algirdas Toliatas, Šeštas jausmas yra pirmas. The sixth sense is actually number 1. He have stolen, no, he's priest. He has borrowed it from me with the permission. And this is from one of the books. And he was calling me, said, but the editor says that it's not jausmas, it's supposed to be pojūtis, but I'm saying it's a quote, and it's a quote from the book, and he's calling me saying, what is the number of the quote? I said, the number of the quote is 61. He said, shit. How didn't I guess it? Of course, sixth sense is the first. Of course, it's 61. So, and uni means you name it. You can put whatever you want. The story about the sixth sense, I will tell probably a bit later, that actually I dragged out of the ambush 6 people, and they're still celebrating every year, 19th of March, as their birthday, because actually it was wild guess. But it was successful. And at the end, 5 Ws. If you are telling someone to do something, you have to say who, but it's tactical level. Who does what, when, where, and why. Why is purpose. And this purpose is something what I have mentioned in the beginning. It's your vision. Accomplishment of your vision is the task to you subordinate. And of course, light at the end of the tunnel is mirror, so it's basically you. And the smallest unit which you are in charge is as well you. Because if you want to conquest the world, where from to start? Extrapolate? I don't speak Arabic. I know a little bit because I was 2 times in a war. Was time in Iraq, 1 time in Afghanistan. And when you are صباح الخير, صباح النور, معكم مشكلة, أكو سؤال, you're basically learning 20, 30 phrases, but you're already kind of member of the team. And I put a picture of the sword. An Arabic proverb says, if your sword is too short, add 1 step to it. There is another Arabic word, proverb, which I actually wrote here. Allah have no other hands but yours. So you may pray, but if you don't do anything, it won't help. And I put a bow, and sometimes we are talking about revolution in military affairs, or what is actually innovation, or what is rationalization, or what is actually modernization. So invention of bow was innovation, because then the thing flies more than you can throw. Another thing here is a booby trap. So basically, when the person walking through the forest, stooping on the rope, the arrow works. Innovation? Not really. It's still the same bow. And when we are talking about, okay, wooden ships were changed into metal ships, iron ships. No. Modernization. Making ships submarines was innovation. Making ships fly was innovation. So basically, open your brain, don't limit yourself, and this note is, how you call it? You know what it is in Arabic? La in Arabic is no. No for no innovations. Yes for it. So, thank you.